Okay, we're here. We got Louisiana Beer Reviews, Ronald Threat, um, Jay Terrio. Wow, my bad. COVID Dissenter, and we got Thomas Metal 75, Masters of Beer Reviews, and we're into the month of May, and I thought this would be a great time to have a little bit of a discussion about some things going on here in the United States as far as the COVID-19 outbreak and the coronavirus is happening, in coinciding with some states trying to reopen their borders and reopen their states for commerce and business going on right now. So, what's really staggering to me, what's got me kind of riled up recently, is our good buddy John Anile. His state of Georgia has opened up on Friday for a lot of business, but they're doing it. I haven't really looked too deeply into it, so I apologize. But they're doing it in a very controlled manner. However, it goes to show that 2 days later, they have over 200 plus cases, new cases that arise. So that means that, oh, no, state shouldn't have opened because 200 plus more people just contracted the virus, which seems kind of odd and strange to me. So those kind of numbers to a lot of people mean that we should not even be thinking about the reopening process right now. And that in of itself is scary to me. I don't know what you have to say about that, Jay Terrio.
Well, I have a lot to say about it.
Sure.
Too much to say about it. I'm wearing your beer.
Yeah.
I know Rajay's doing some Sunday Fun Day video.
Yeah.
Right now, Slow Down Sunday. But anyway, I was watching a little bit of it, not much. Okay, so I never said the virus was a fraud. Some people think I said it was a fraud. I don't think it's a fraud. It's a virus. A virus, it's these things break out. What the origin is, people think they're experts. Everybody got their ideas, but we don't know for sure. It's not the first time these things have spread around and killed 60,000 people. The flu has done that a number of times. Now, what you got to remember with all these pandemics, that the organizations like the CDC, they'll inflate it, whether it's the flu or not, because they make their money off of having pandemics. So, in other words, if there's nothing going on, they might have budget cuts. So they're going to always say, oh, yeah, you died of the flu. You died of the flu. Where you the flu? Been sick with other problems. Like the American Lung Association, the U.S. government might say 24,000 people died of the flu in a season, but the American Lung Association say no, it's like 791 people, 791, not 24,000. Okay, so this thing came over here, and then there was this unusual response. See, that's the thing that I'm saying is strange. This overreaction, which a lot of studies or a lot of science indicates that none of these interventions help anyway, that once the flu's out, it's going to spread, or a coronavirus, whatever type it is going to spread like a cold. People are going to catch colds. I mean, there's things you can do to minimize it or minimalize it, but shutting down the whole economy and treating people like prisoners in a communist gulag probably wouldn't have made any difference. I mean, they are claiming, I don't believe it, but they're claiming 60,000 people died of it and a million have it. Well, it's probably more than a million. It's probably more like 5 million have it. But most people that get it don't even have symptoms.
Yeah. I wish that nobody ever had to read a death certificate about a loved one that has died for any number of reasonings. But that's exactly what I'm trying to say. If you read a death certificate, you'll probably see more than one reasoning why they died. There's probably 2 or 3 other complications that happened. You could write COVID-19, then there's other complications probably that arose from that too. I'm not trying to downplay the virus, but a bunch of things that contributed to that.
People are real hysterical, and so if you say something like I'm saying, they'll say, "Oh, you just don't care about the deaths," which is you would have to have a child's mentality to believe that. Secondly, what they're doing for the total number of cases they claim that they've got, cases that are guaranteed to have it, okay. Then presumed cases are counted as confirmed, and possible cases are counted as confirmed. So you may not have it, but they're going to still say you've got it. And then if you die, they're going to say you died of corona and count it as a death when it might have been for something else, and you might have never even had the virus. So that's what I'm talking about. And now
could have pneumonia right before that happened.
Right. So to destroy the United States in order to save it makes no sense. And I don't support any of these. I don't support any of these interventions. And in fact, you know me, I've actually actively tried to violate all the things by not wearing a mask, driving to Texas, driving to Mississippi, going to a state park and go hiking, go and eat at a restaurant, not from a restaurant, although we did sit outside. Been trying to violate all the protocols. Well, there's the story.
So currently, well, at least the big problem for me right now is trying to like rationally talk to people that obviously may have other varying opinions about this, and kind of like what Jay was just saying about if you have any kind of a varying opinion, it sounds like you're some kind of a insensitive buffoon on the human, you're against the human race, and you don't want to keep people safe. But I'm not really sure, because I'm really not. All right, I'm not really sure how long just being told this, that like stay put and don't do anything, is gonna make some virus go, oh, I'm sorry, I'll leave. That we got to do something about that. Being able to get to work, get this country back to work, and being able to put some more money into the economy and into strengthen that, I think is going to help. Is going to do more help than harm in trying to get towards a solution into this. We didn't go into World War II. We didn't go into World War II after Pearl Harbor got bombed, and we didn't declare war on Japan and Germany and just sit around and do nothing while everybody just fought. We all pitched in, and we all felt like this was for the greater good, that we all help out in the nation. And I think that's a perfect way to look at the situation. I know war, man-made, we decided if that was going to happen or not.
Right. It's not the same as the virus. And
the response can be dealt with in a similar fashion. You can start.
What I'm saying is, my whole argument is that the interventions wouldn't have made much difference. What I'm saying is, if they had done nothing, let's say they had taken no action, it probably would have been the same amount of deaths.
The worst that I've heard, I might have been anonymous, is saying that CDC is not sure of anything either. And that might be true. I don't know enough about them internally to know the answer to that, but I think it was a CDC person that. Maybe it was Meet the Press with Chuck Todd one morning. Talked about, asked the question of the CDC, what would happen if we did nothing? If nothing happened? Eventually, they were talking about we would have built up immunity. Over time, we would build up immunities to this. And even if stuff came back over time, we would start to build up these immunities to it. Our bodies would figure out, maybe not the overriding cure, but we're going to figure out what the body needs to do to try to, defend itself. It's going to naturally do that.
Viruses work according to a pattern. Research has shown that a lot of these times the interventions, whether you do an intervention or don't, it doesn't seem to make much difference in the total deaths. So that, and then you see these governors are being very totalitarian towards the people, very arrogant and exasperating the problems. And then you got these protests that are turning violent in some cases. Although a lot of times that's because you got groups that might be trying to use that to be violent anyway. But once that started, when this whole thing started, and immediately they started to criticize anybody who questioned it as a COVID-idiot and all of that. I said, that's a sign that their science is not that good. because if they were confident in what they were saying, they wouldn't have to start criticizing and putting people down and trying to shame them.
Yeah.
That was a tip off right there that part of it was a fraud, because you don't have to, if you have good science, you don't have to make fun of people that question it. Anyway, good science is questioning things, isn't it?
Yeah. Kyle's, I feel like a lot of people should be really either more open and honest, or just admit the fact that what like Kyle says, I just know what I know about viruses and research I've done online, and he doesn't really have any inside information. And we should just be completely honest. If we don't know a whole bunch about a subject, just like anything else, go and do some research. You figure out what it is that seems not, crazy on TV, and it's hard to come to those terms. So for me, it's really hard to, I mean, as these states are opening, obviously citizens are getting these updates from their governors and from the government in their states. So what do we do? So when we're ready to open the state back up, we all have to be able to, I guess we all got to believe what we're being told by our states and the data they're using and the information they're using in order to determine when they're going to get back up. We better assume that their information that they're giving us is is pretty sound and confident. Otherwise, that just might be another problem. There's so much misinformation going on. How do you get to where the information is really accurate? And that, I think, is what's really driving people up the wall. We shouldn't be opening up yet. But then again, there's so much more information that talks about we can do this in the right way, but it's just hard to differentiate who's giving the information, who is not giving the exact correct information.
Do you think they should have shut down everything?
I think they had to do that initially. I just don't know. I just honestly don't know how long we can just do that and not have people at work trying to, make money and invest into the economy and to try to help fix this problem. Now we're in that phase where we got to start opening little by little to help fix this problem. It's just not going to go away on its own. It's never going to.
That's where you and I disagree, because I'm saying they shouldn't have shut down anything in the first place. But I'm not a person. I don't have control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't control the government. But the president is or I'm saying at fault. Other people would say deserves praise for calling for the shutdown. The governors are at fault, or other people would say should be praised for calling for the shutdown. And now you've got some governors. Well, some governors never shut down anything, like in Arkansas, which was a good idea. But some governors are starting to open their states back up. But other ones seem very reluctant to give up their power. It's like, well, I've got the power, and I think I might just keep it forever. So it seemed like that. And then they're very vindictive. Like, if you don't cooperate, I'll extend it longer.
The people that are really afraid of wanting the states to open up, like now, let's say, my question to those kind of people are, do you trust? So when we're getting these government updates within our individual states, do you personally trust that information? Do you feel does it come off to you as honest and genuine, the information that you're given to your state? And if not, how do you determine, personally, how is it that you determine when you feel comfortable that the states should reopen? What is it that we use what is it that you would use as a metric? And even if we say that 200 plus cases of coronavirus happened since Friday or arose in Georgia, is it really presumable to believe that just because the state opened means that 200 people plus just got infected with the virus? That it just doesn't seem that that's how that works. I'm not trying to be cynical towards the human race, people, but that just doesn't seem like that's how things work.
I don't think I understand what you just said.
So if we're not supposed to open now, and say your state wants to open, all right, what information do you use to in your mind to judge when we should open? What are your metrics? Who are you listening to? What guides you in what to believe in, how to live in this climate right now?
Yeah, well, I already told you my metrics.
Yeah, I just want to hear that from other people. And Anonymous Cower here says that seniors and other vulnerable people should definitely stay quarantined. Everyone else should just practice good hygiene and common sense. The term common sense, we hope common sense is pretty common to everybody, but
it isn't.
It's got their own interpretation on what that
common sense just means your general level of intelligence.
Everybody's got an opinion on what someone's general level of intelligence is. I'm not trying to be an idiot, but I mean, no one's even come to an agreement on that these days.
No, I mean, common sense just means, you've either got it or you don't. You can't make somebody be intelligent. They're just going to be, or they're not going to be. But
I hope people are trying to use it.
I always did wash my hands a lot, and I always did. I never was a big touchy-feely person. Yeah. I always did keep my distance from people because I know a lot of people go to the restroom and not wash their hands and stuff. So I don't like touching people. I don't like touching people in general. I remember they used to talk about Donald Trump was weird because he didn't like to shake hands. I'm talking about back in the 90s. And I was thinking he's probably like germophobic, he's scared he's going to get sick. But I don't know. There's some people I know them personally. I don't want to shake their hands because they're not clean. But I didn't want to shake their hand before Corona came along. Yeah. And I don't want to shake their hand after Corona goes away. It's not going to go away. These things never go away, And then the government or these people on CNN and Fox say, it's going to mutate. It's going to mutate. But I read articles saying that when viruses mutate, they always mutate down. In other words, they change, but they get to where they're not as lethal.
No, read our great buddy Tyler Mansell, Seattle, Washington area. He is totally in line. We were talking a little bit earlier, him and I, about stuff, but he's totally in line about the shutdown. I mean, and then you got right before that, you got Ronald Sutton from the state of Ohio going, it's a free for all. Possibly, maybe it should be. I just don't know about just do whatever you want right now. But we have many problems. Overpopulation is one, and there's going to be mass deaths no matter what.
I don't agree we have overpopulation, but
maybe in certain urban areas for sure. Population density.
I agree that we got problems. Now you look at the cities like New York City and New Orleans that had high death rates. Mm-hmm. Now these same liberal governors and mayors, back before this Corovidius, I call it Corovidiacy. Before the Corovidiacy struck, they had no interest. They didn't seem to have any interest whatsoever about so-called homelessness. I call it vagrancy and hobos. Hobos, bums, and vagrants, what it really is. People that wouldn't work if you gave them a job. They'll do anything. I've always used this joke for 25 years. They'll do anything for money that doesn't involve work. Mm-hmm. They carry signs, will work for money. But what they really mean is they'll do anything for money that doesn't involve work. So they live in tent cities. They never bathe. They're full of disease. They congregate in all the cities. Then the same liberals, governors and mayors who are trying to crack down on everybody to keep us safe, they say, were very lax about illegal immigration. Oh, it's fine. Let them come in. Who cares? It's not a problem. Where they're coming in from countries full of tuberculosis, they don't check their health status.
Yeah.
These people can come in full of viruses and spread, for instance, coronavirus around the country. But the same people that say they have a cure are inviting illegal aliens to come in and overrun the country and with no health checks.
Yeah.
They let bums, hobos, and vagrants congregate in the city spreading filth. And now they are all of a sudden concerned about sanitation and fighting viruses. That right there should tell you something is not kosher and something is not right. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's like a drug addict telling me about the danger of drugs. I'm going to think, I don't know. I don't think I trust what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'd like to go on Rajay's channel and rant and rave about this, but he'll never let me on, But
we've had some Facebook conversations as well about things too, and I just had a bunch with people. And again, my main complaint going into the month of May here is that, again, as more states are opening up, if you don't agree with the metrics or you don't agree with the data that's being used or the information that's coming across from your particular area of the country or these other states on them deciding now is a good time to reopen, what will it take somebody that doesn't agree that we should open? What will it take them to believe that at some other point in time it is okay to open? It's hard to try to give people information when all they want to do with it is just go deny, deny, deny. Even though we have to be able to filter out what we know is BS. When what we certainly know is BS, even Donald Trump knows it's BS, and he was laughing about it, which maybe not a great time to laugh, is we need to have vaccines of Lysol disinfectant to go into our blood. That'll stop the virus. I don't think even he thought that was actually.
From what I understand, he actually just asked a question. He said, "Could that be something we could look into?" He didn't say, "I'm advocating that we do that."
So everybody.
Later on, he tried to say he was just being sarcastic.
Which is
he should have just said, "I was just asking a question. I never advocated for it." So, but there's people that don't like him. I'm not going to vote for him again. But there's people that don't like him, and they're just looking to attack him on anything, And I know how that game works. Okay, It was like with Obama. You had Republicans. I knew that anything they were looking to attack him, and a lot of times I was saying, "Look, there's nobody on earth that's more anti-Obama than me, but I'm going to play fair. I'm not going to attack him for every little nitpicking thing.
Right.
There's no substance to the attack. Okay, let's worry about policy, not some little nicky-nack stuff." But a lot of people can't look past that.
Yep. I got a buddy of mine from my town. We were chatting a little bit earlier, and he was talking about the fact that now hospitals are short on gowns, and PPE 6 weeks into this. The president is a joke, and my buddy also goes on to say that he doesn't feel like all of this does that. He feels like Trump, should I say. All he does is talk about crap that's not even true, and now people are literally dying from the stupidity. First, it was the malaria drug. First, it was the malaria drug, which he doesn't believe it even would treat coronavirus, and now it's injecting disinfectant into the blood, and he thinks that any other president would have done a better job. I invited this buddy of mine from my town to join in on the conversation, if literally live, if he has any varying opinion or wants to back up what he's talking about. But there are some people that are just so angry and upset, and they just can't really rationally sit down and think about what's really going on, what we need to do about this. It's just everybody's wrong, no one's right, everyone's wrong, just fear everybody. I don't know how far fear is going to go.
But I'm about 95% sure that I am right.
I just don't want people to fear ever going back to normalcy. It's going to happen at some point. Please do not fear the fact when we are so far away from this climate that you need to fear that, oh no, this is just going to happen again. You got to have a little bit more faith in humanity than that, people. That's really what happened.
I have no fear now. I had no fear then, and I had no fear before that.
Yeah.
Before, during, and present. I never wore a mask except at work where they said I had to. So I do, at least as a show. I don't really wear it, but do it just as like a little pantomime type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly did not avoid going anywhere. I tried to actively violate all the orders. So you see,
varying opinions. So that drug is hydroxychloroquine. There's been many, many, many varying opinions on if hydroxychloroquine can even help with this or not, can even help with the coronavirus. There's been cases where it has done absolutely jack squat, and there's been other cases where maybe it has done something. It's kind of hard in a climate like this to undergo the scrutiny and the rigorous testing and that drugs typically have to undergo when we try to greenlight a drug in this country. We don't have very much time to, do months and months of rigorous testing to figure out if this is going to really work or not. If it could potentially have some benefits, it should be between either the hospital and the patient or the patient and their doctor to decide if that's the best route to go. That's my personal opinion. It shouldn't be the government's job to, at this point, to say, no, sorry. If it could work in your case, your doctor should prescribe that immediately. We don't have much time to, again, go through the testing and trials. We just don't.
What was I going to tell you? Can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, here's a good comment from Anonymous Coward, which is normalcy in densely populated areas is probably not a good thing to return to. Example, New York subway system. All right. And any drug would be more effective if given before someone is dying on a ventilator. I guess. Could be true. But everybody is forgetting the fact, no one seems to have read any news article recently about the fact that AstraZeneca is now putting out, or they're physically getting the supply of their vaccine that they've developed. And they're getting 1 million vaccines put together, and it's going to be coming to the United States very, very, very soon. And it's going to be only at cost to the people that need it. They're not worried about all of that pharmaceutical red tape. They're not really worried about this is a business, we got to make the money off of the drug. They're getting it to us. We have a way to start fighting this. I don't know how soon this is coming, but it is nearly here, and we're going to have a good way to combat this disease for the first time in months. So we need to look forward to any positivity. It shouldn't be all negative. It just can't be. Quinine has been used in Panama since the Panama Canal was built. Ronald Sutton's father took it for years, and they lived to be 87. Yeah. Interesting insight. But I'm just at my wit's end with people that just want to just sit around and do nothing and not try to be a part of a solution, or not try to put trust in people that are trying to, make solutions. Their thought is to sit in the corner and cower and just let this thing go away. Well, if no one's going out and about, there's no way to ever become immune to anything. How do you become immune to a disease or a virus if you don't interact with anybody? I'm not suggesting try to go and get a virus, but how do we build immunity if we don't interact with
people? You won't. The whole thing that's what I said was a farce. That's what I said was a fraud. I never said the virus was a fraud. Anybody that claims I said the virus was a fraud did not understand my viewpoint. Mm-hmm. But now, like our friend James P. Madonna, he's made some videos saying these right-wing fanatics who refuse to social distance are going to kill us all. Okay, fair enough. I admit I'm one of those right-wing fanatics, I suppose you could say, that haven't social distance, I haven't practiced self-isolation, haven't worn a mask, continued to go driving around, walking on trails, shopping at any and every grocery store, liquor store, Walmart, etc. So have I helped spread the virus? I don't know. Am I a carrier of the virus? I don't know. Am I typhoid Ronald?
Yeah.
Or COVID Ronald? I don't know. But maybe I spread the flu for the last 30 years and killed 200 people. I don't know. I just know that what they're selling, I'm not buying. You get it? You get it? And a lot of people aren't buying it. Now in Louisiana, they're saying Now, I was talking to Michael Jennings in Canada on Facebook, and he was saying in Canada, if you get caught violating, it's $700 fine. I said, well, there's no sort of thing like that here. No fines. They're just saying, don't do it. And they're hoping people follow the order. But there's no actual penalty. Now, as far as bowling alleys, cinemas, and lounges, bars and lounges that refuse to close, they might have gotten in trouble. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Andrew Napolitano on Fox television, Judge Andrew Napolitano said none of those things can be enforced. And he was saying that they can't do anything to you. So he was saying that the bars should have never shut down and the restaurant shouldn't have closed. They should have just defied the order and dared. He was basically saying, call their bluff, dare them to shut you down and see what will happen. I wish people would have dared them, maybe, because if everybody does it at once, then they can't stop you, you know. So I always encourage mass disobedience, but that was my my approach. But I'm only one person, so yeah. I'm not a massive person. You know, I can't do a mass thing alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Most Louisiana people followed the rules, and they wore a mask, and they were good little slaves, you know. So hey, well, okay.
Yeah, CNN has, which it makes complete sense. They put out an article a little while ago within this past hour.
Thomas Meadow, Ronald Sutton wants a link to join. Okay, I'm sorry.
Ronald Sutton. All right, that pressure is mounting on governors to ease restrictions, and that totally, obviously, that obviously makes a lot of sense.
Who's saying that?
CNN in the last hour has said that.
Said that? Who said it?
No, they posted an article, and the article is entitled "Pressure Mounts on Governors to Ease Restrictions." Just across the nation. They're talking with a bunch of different governors from, I think they're talking to one from Maryland and California and Michigan.
Oh yeah, it's definite pressure.
Yeah. And Michigan's stay-home order is now through May 15th, and I think we have around the same time, or May 19th, I believe. Well, I mean, everywhere they're having even up to July, they're having a bunch of 4th of July celebrations that are just up and gone. You're never going to see a concert until May or until 2021, which is kind of strange to me.
Kind of insane. Well, it's the same here, May 15th.
But even if you have a differencing of opinion, I'm not sure getting a group of people together and going to storm your local state capitol building is gonna, do much to solve any problem immediately. Your problems are not.
You're right. It probably won't, but I don't oppose that, actually.
I just think your life is just going to be,
I'm not an activist like that. I'm like you. I'm not going to go join a protest carrying guns. Yeah. I'm more of a, I'm on Facebook putting my posts like, don't self-isolate, don't wear a mask, don't stay at home, or like doing my agitation and propaganda on Facebook. So, yep. Which probably doesn't accomplish much. Makes my friends list smaller.
Nope.
When I post that propaganda on Facebook, it makes my friends list get smaller, but it doesn't probably accomplish much. But it might increase like people's thinking that they want to resist the tyranny. I call it the tyranny, the dictatorship.
And the I don't know. That must be a political news organization. Yesterday, I could send out these links if people want to read some stuff. Yesterday, from the Hill.com, they said the U.S. endures worst one-day death toll yet as states reopen, and that's according to the World Health Organization. So again, people are looking at statistics and the data when states are opening. that, we're getting these new cases, that means that does not necessarily mean, and it probably doesn't mean that just because the state reopened, all of a sudden a bunch of coronavirus cases have, people just got infected with the disease. And that is not how one should interpret that information. What you should be interpreting from that information, and it could be due to a lot of different industries that are having their own, and businesses having their own practices and policies in response to this, is that a lot of different people are getting tested. People are getting tested. So maybe people that have never even had any symptom, would have never been a candidate initially, or whatever, thought to go get tested, prior to this, now they're finding that they have a lot of extra people with cases of COVID-19. So that's why you're seeing all these numbers. That shouldn't necessarily reflect, I don't think that number should reflect on the whole, the state as a whole, but it needs to, there's got to be a measuring stick, right? What's the measuring stick? What number of people are diagnosed with cases of COVID-19 before we say, okay, we feel confident enough going back to at least somewhat normalcy? How do we measure that? I have no clue. And to try to have a conversation with people that think that none of it should happen ever, it's like talking to a brick wall. They're just set in their way on that, and that's the end of that argument, which that doesn't usually help much at all. But we got Ronald Sutton in there. They're just set in their way on that, and that's the end of that argument, which that doesn't usually help much at all. But we got Ronald Sutton in there. They're just set in their way on that.
You got a keys listening to, so you got a keys.
Which that doesn't usually. Turn off the feed for this video, and we will bring you the other. Please kill the video audio.
It's gotta kill the audio.
Bam.
Just like if you call a radio talk to, you can't keep playing.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, we'll get the live Ronald Sutton opinion from the state of Ohio when he has the audio situated.
It's like if you call the radio station, you can't play the radio while you're calling them.
Right.
You got to turn it off and listen to it through your phone. Because you're playing a delayed feed, and it's no way that can work.
Add to stream. Ronald Sutton, how's it going?
I don't know what happened. I'm trying to figure out my laptop because I'm improving my video quality.
Hey, sounds good right now.
I don't know how come I got that feedback.
Sounds good right now, man.
You were playing the YouTube video while you were joining. That's why.
Yeah.
So to turn it on my laptop and shut my phone off.
Yes.
Right. Don't watch the video while you're joining the video.
Exactly.
I wasn't watching it. Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Yeah. There's Ronald Sutton again. Figuring out the audio.
There I go.
Oh, we got the echo again because you have two devices on. Let's see.
Oh, I got it on. It should be okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, you had it
Okay now?
Yes, that sounds good.
All right, hi fellas. Good
All right.
subject today, huh?
Yeah. Let's
A
see
little
the
bit
Ronald.
more serious than the lightheartedness of last night. Whew.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, your buddy kept me up, Thomas.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Rod J, boy, he had a wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
anyhow, hey, Jay, I'm having really a hard time finding that peanut butter beer.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, golly, man, it's like they don't make it up here or something. I don't understand it, but I can't get the stuff.
I guess
so I probably won't be participating unless I find something.
I guess I picked a bad topic. Tom, Michael Comer said, well, what if we bring any kind of beer made with nuts? Which I don't know of any other kind of nuts. They usually peanuts, right? So I said, go ahead, Michael, if you can find a walnut beer, or almonds.
Oh,
Oh well,
Mexican jumping bean for Cinco de Mayo. Does a jumping bean count as a nut?
if I have to do a video solo, I'll just do it solo, and then I'll just say, well, I picked the topic that was too hard to fulfill. Oh well.
Yeah, I just
Too bad for me.
I wouldn't mind joining in on it, but I just can't get it. Can't get it.
See, they're pretty common around here. Like they got, I can think of 3 off the top of my head right now.
Huh. I don't know. I'll keep looking, but the only place that has a selection of so-called craft beers is Kroger's. It's about the only game in town.
Yeah, and that's not too elaborate.
No, but I'll look.
Sweet.
If not, I'll join in.
Yeah. We got Ronald Sutton in the house, and he is going to give us his thoughts and opinions on the state of affairs of coronavirus. Yeah, COVID-19.
Yeah, like I say, they talk about that chloroquine or whatever.
Yep.
And it's the same as quinine. It's the same,
Right.
same formulation as quinine. You know, it's been around forever. My dad took it because he used to get leg cramps. Yeah, they gave it for leg. I mean, it treats a variety of symptoms.
Yeah.
You know, some people they think it helps with their seizures and everything else. It's like a wonder drug. It's like aspirin. But it doesn't affect us. What I'm worried about is, you know, how are you going to get people back to work when they're making more money on unemployment and all these other stipends they're getting? There's no sense to go back to work.
What?
You know, these postal workers and government workers now, you know, they're talking about getting hazardous pay retroactive back to when this started. I know postmen, they don't want to go to work. You know, city employees, they don't want to go back to work. Hell, they're making more money now.
Yeah, well, they got it. They can't have all these subsidies, you know.
They're talking about that $600 stipend going in for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they can afford. How are we going to afford it?
Yeah,
that hasn't been paid. That hasn't been approved.
There's people getting it. What? That's it. They get their regular unemployment benefits plus $600. Yeah. I don't know where you live, Jay, but that's real life in America, buddy. Yeah, they're getting their normal unemployment pay, which depends on state. Massachusetts has some of the highest. They pay out the biggest.
yeah.
But around here, you know, they get about $350 a week. Plus they're getting an extra $600. They're making more than they did at work.
Yep. You get 50% of what you make at your original job on unemployment till you get another job, or in my case with the furlough, you go back to your job.
Well, there you go. That's why I said they shouldn't have shut anything down in the first place.
Well, I mean, $1,200 is pretty good. I haven't seen that, and I gave them the opportunity to direct deposit that from the government to my bank account, or the federal government. I haven't seen that $1,200 yet. Maybe they're so inundated with everybody trying to get that money that it's just taken that long of time to do it. But I just don't understand how these projects, which are positive, don't get me wrong, I don't understand how these projects are going to be able to stay funded if we don't attempt to open up states and get people back into the workforce.
If these Democrats have it their way, you know, they're going to start bailing out their own state's pension funds that they mishandled for
run out. Yeah,
that's, you know, that'll be a catastrophe. That'll dig us so much in debt it would never get out of it. Which we will never get out of it.
10 weeks. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, even for those people.
I don't know.
Save it
Hey,
for
bro, Jay, I got something special for you, bud.
Ooh.
This is what propelled Bud Light into the realm that it is today. The original party animal, Spuds McKenzie.
There he is.
I remember all those old commercials. They were so ridiculous. But I
was playing a lot of them last night. I got turned down. I didn't know that they could copyright their song or something if you were playing it and shut you down. I had no idea.
Yeah, they can.
Unreal.
It depends on the.
I wonder when the entertainment industry is gonna be able to get back on their feet. They're talking about trying to have drive-in movie theaters open up again. I know there's one within an hour, 45 minutes from where I live, so that's kind of cool. Some places in the world, I'm trying to remember the name of the country, actually started doing drive-in concerts where you can drive into the venue and watch a concert from there. Okay, sure, if that works, cool. But like, how long? What's up with those people? You know, the sports community's out of jobs, and that's sort of in the industry that I'm in. Entertainment industry, what happens to the people that work for venues or work for the businesses like a Live Nation, or that work within like the leagues for these teams and stuff, and that work in the film industry? What happens to them? No one's thinking about those things. People obviously, those industries obviously make a fortune and should be able to help out their people, but that's not to say that is just a universal fix. Just their company give them money.
Well, I'm going to get off of this thing pretty soon. I mean, I stated my case, which is probably the extremist case, but I don't care because I believe in it. Ha 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 ha.
And again, I think number one, we got to get people back to work, because we're never going to get over this unless people are back to work with money trying to fix the problem. And it doesn't make any sense just living in fear because you misinterpreted maybe what the national news is trying to tell us. That's all. I'm not on any personal agenda or bias more than anybody else. We got to be smart about what we're going to do and how to fix this.
Okay, but you're not
how long of time that is to take. I don't know. But we got to be smart about whatever we do with this, so it doesn't bite us in the ass, later on in life.
It's not gonna come back, and even if it does, it's not gonna be a big deal. It wasn't a big deal to start with. They made it into a big deal. They hyped it up. They spread what I call a fear psychosis. They've spread panic and paranoia. They turned America into a country of slaves. It's not. I said it was one of the biggest hoaxes in history. It's not the biggest hoax, because you have lots of hoaxes where people believe foolish things. You can talk about World War II, where they had Americans believe in foolish things, which were totally impossible. So, I mean, the government and the major media are experts at creating panic, false crises. So, sorry, folks.
This stuff has been around for a long time, man. There was an old episode of, what is it? Seinfeld. George Costanza had corona. Hell, there was an old episode of MASH when I was a kid that talked about a coronavirus.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same as a cold. It's going to come and go. You get a different strain of it every couple of years. I can't ever see them have a vaccine.
Well, look, when you have people who have a lust for power, and then they demonstrate that by wielding power over everybody, you shouldn't be surprised that people with a lust for power enjoy wielding power. I mean, I always said for years these people have the power. Some people have addiction to drugs or whatever. Their addiction is having power. So now they're able to wield it. They're able to wield it. I don't know what happened. It's starting to break down. Eric, you're like Steve Austin in that airplane. You're breaking. You're breaking up.
Oh, maybe we do need to conclude our today's discussion. So, if people got any more comments, they have a thought and an opinion. All that stuff is really good. It's good to not be close-minded about anything and really come together with your opinions, because who knows, you might have thought your thought was really great. Somebody else comes along, they got something even better to say. Listen to that guy. Why not? We need to do more of that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're breaking up still a tiny bit. And,
Okay, I can hear y'all. I can hear y'all fine. You know.
Drink
Yeah, I see
Budweiser.
that,
Yeah, Wednesday on the Jay Terrio show, if people are watching, is the peanut butter beers. King of beers. Monday is May 4th. So our good buddy at Bumpy Road Brewery is doing an examination on Schwartz beers because may the 4th, may the Schwartz be with you. He kind of shot himself in the foot by saying that, but he's going, you know what? I said it on camera. We're going to do Schwartz beers. You're either going to get Kochstritzer. I think that Zingu black beer is a Schwartz beer, but you're going to get Kochstritzer.
I have Dixie Black and Voodoo.
I think I might get the Zingu because I know where to get it, and that'll be different. Why not?
Here comes
what the hell is a Schwartz beer? What's the definition?
A black beer. That's all it is.
German.
But it's not really black. It's brown.
That doesn't mean anything that says black lager or ale is a Schwartz.
I've got one. I've got the doggone Dixie Black and Voodoo.
Yeah. So join in for that 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Any last comments, people? May the Schwartz beer be with you. Now get to the hopper. All right.
Yeah.
And
okay, well, talking to Ronald Thomas Metal
and Tyler. We will see you all later. Cheers.
There you
well,
go.
safe.
Bye.